Good morning. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center. This is a beautiful morning, and we are blessed to have Reverend Dan Kendrick as our guest speaker and to have Christina Hildebrandt as our musician. And so we will begin with music from Christina.
Good morning, everyone. This is a piece called Alden River from the Isle of Man.
Thank you, Christina.
Welcome.
So at this time, let us take a breath together and we will go into prayer. Beloved presence, we're grateful to be gathered here today, grateful to open our hearts to each other and the world, grateful for the intuition you have provided us that allows us to be in tune with you at all times, follow your guidance, feel your love and support. And so it is. And we'll have another piece of music. Thank you, Christina. Oh, Dan, we're so grateful to have you here this morning to provide us with a talk and a meditation in what order serves you.
Then would there be some music and then can that work? Meditation, music, and then talk? Oops, sorry.
That works. I didn't hear the beginning of what you said because you were muted. So
Yeah,
you want to do meditation, music, talk?
Yeah, would that work? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so great. Why don't welcome everybody. It's great to be here with you. I was thinking of what's our purpose in coming together, and why I like coming together with this community because I feel like I'm one with you and your purpose. Spiritual community. I like the emphasis on spiritual. However, we bring along our bodies and our mind and our emotions when we come together. That I look at community as that idea of communion. We come together in communion, and communion with what, with who. And in unity, I like to focus on the Christ consciousness. I don't like to get hung up on vocabulary. I've said this many times, there could be 1,000 different ways or names for that consciousness, and whatever you call it, anyone else calls it, is totally fine with me. Because whatever I call it, anybody else calls it, doesn't change what it is. Because it's a living reality. It's always present, always here. And the reason I like getting together is I see one of our purposes is to use this time to reconnect. And it may be that you don't need to reconnect. You're already connected, you know that. Maybe any one of you here could do a talk today, I'm sure you could. But if we look at it as who's giving the talk, I see Spirit giving the talk all the time. Hopefully we use this time as a way to tune into that teacher that's within us all, that is us, it's living in us as us in a very unique way. And even though you may not verbalize that, the fact that you're doing that and you're in communion can affect the entire group, maybe more powerfully than someone talking. So my focus is to connect with that one that speaks the truth, with that one that is loving in each one of us. The fact that we bring with us personalities, meaning physical bodies, minds that sometimes can run amok, but also sometimes can be used as a magnificent tool, as a means, as a way to get us into the greater awareness of who we are as a soul, as a divine being. So often the ministry is to our personality, to our bodies. Maybe there's aches or pains you're experiencing, some part of the body. Could be an opportunity to be present with Spirit, ask the light to touch into that place. There could be in the mind, mental area, disturbances, concerns. Maybe, I think probably any of us would say, well, yeah, sometimes I get preoccupied in my mind. To me, that's an understatement. sometimes I can get so preoccupied in my mind that it produces disturbing emotions. And I had a good example this last week where I found myself out of balance. Usually the disturbance, the out of balance is happening in one of those three areas, actually four areas: body, mind, emotions, unconscious. Thank God there's a fifth area, and that's the soul. Because that's the balm in Gilead. That's the answer. That's what we seek. That's what everybody is seeking. Some people know that. Some people don't quite know yet what that is. Quite often I find when I touch into the soul that the most effective language is silence. And probably the purest communication comes through the silence, because it's not, words are inadequate. But if we can take those words and just see them as arrows pointing us to what we're looking for, then even words can serve us. So Father, Mother, God, just now we ask your loving presence, your assistance to be with us in this time together. We ask whatever's for her highest good, that would be brought forward in your perfect way for each person. Knowing your will is done, so be it. Christina?
You ready, Dan? Okay.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see what else Spirit has for us today. I was just this last week looking at the idea, the experience of peace, and what does that mean to be experiencing peace? And I heard someone at one time define peace as the cessation of againstness. And as soon as I heard that definition, cessation of againstness, I was reminded of at least two people specifically in my life who I realized I had some degree of againstness going towards them. I don't know about you, but I find it pretty easy personally to get triggered into againstness. And I have a part of myself that can be very righteous in my position and feel justified fully because this person who is expressing in this way is definitely wrong, and I feel like they're against me. And there's that againstness. I feel like they are against me. So here I am. That's a little different version of againstness. And as I was working with that situation and placing it into the light, and like, well, what am I to do here? I came to another realization that as I connected more with my soul, that divine part of me, is that my soul had no issue with these two persons and their expression. The soul had no issue. You can kind of let that sink in. Soul has no issue with anyone's expression, no matter how negative we perceive it to be, and no matter how positive we perceive it to be. The soul has no issue. This is what I was getting, that the soul's position is one of neutrality, observation, experience. So obviously I found myself in a place of contradiction inside myself, where on one hand I was experiencing and creating againstness towards another expression, while at the same time becoming aware that if I was relating from a higher level, I would be experiencing more neutrality, maybe even enjoyment of seeing and being around this expression as well. This person really expresses scattered thinking and incoherence very effectively. I don't know, do you start to get the freedom that is accessible to us if we can, which is a big if we can access it? Can you imagine coming into a place where we enjoy all the different expressions? And how about this one? What if we came to the place where we treated what we call negative expressions with the same value and equanimity that we experience the positive expressions. Now, to me, that's a mind blower. It's a game changer. However, this Christ consciousness that I would see at the head of unity and other, I would say the Christ consciousness is at the head of anyone who chooses it to be at its head, which could include all 7 billion of us, or whatever the number is. But that one who embodied the Christ consciousness laid it out real clearly when that person and that at that time was in a male polarity body, referring to Jesus, simply said, love your enemies. You know, those sound like nice words and a nice ideal, but I think we've all, if you put flesh and blood on that and you come face to face with your enemy, question is, can you love them? It brings to memory another principle idea, was if you knew the secret hurt of your worst enemy, not just a enemy, but your worst enemy, there's nothing you would do to hurt them any further. To me, it's rather humbling. And as I would see this as my work, maybe I could say our work is cut out for us. When we start looking at it's, thank God we have an ideal. And thank God we have one and ones who've gone before us. Who have given us direction and what I'm seeing is our growth and our expansion and our opportunities are limitless. And no matter where I think I've gotten, no matter how high, I'll put that in quotes, I think I am, there's always more. It's always, etc. What's next? How can I open more? Otherwise, we're serving a finite God, finite loving, finite grace, finite caring. But the one we serve is infinite, and it's loving, grace, caring. And I think it's obvious, like, well, why am I here? What am I doing here? Hopefully it's I'm learning to love in greater and greater ways. Could it be that that's what this is all about? It's not about the virus. It's not about politics. It's not about who's doing what or who's not doing what. It's about what I'm thinking in my mind about what that is. It's about what I'm feeling in my emotions about what that is. And the question always is am I coming from a consciousness of loving? And if not, how can I get back into that consciousness of loving and use this as my opportunity to learn, grow, expand? I find that's always the case in my personal experience. I can get off on my tangents. I can get off on some other direction or course and for a moment feel justified. But if my intention is to grow in spirit and loving, I'm going to be brought back in. It's called the narrow path, the narrow way that's as wide as all the universes. It's a single focus. It's a single unfolding, expansion called loving. And certainly I've got to bring that loving to myself. You know, it's me, O Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's probably the first place, and I would guess the most challenging place to bring it. It becomes very personal. Yet it's impersonal, yet it's personal. It's both. But if you're missing either one of those, you're missing a key ingredient, in my opinion. So maybe one of the questions we can ask is, how are you doing? And another question I could ask is, how are you being? Hopefully I've got a good balance between those two, the doing and the being. I find the being part of myself is the one that ministers to me doing. So I find when I go and start to do, that's usually where my challenges start hitting me. I can be coming out of meditation on cloud 9 and give me 5 minutes to walk out of the room and have an interaction with my wife, and I can wonder where all that went. It can be that easy to fall out of it. And it can appear like there's two different worlds going on. There's this world of being, and then this world of doing, and it's so in that sense, I've said this before, but I'll say it again because it's so true. I'm constantly recovering. Hopefully we can celebrate ourselves in our living we can support ourselves in our quest. And we can know, hopefully, that we have the best partner in this process that anyone could have. And that is that Christ consciousness, God. So much of this, as I see it, is about relationship. And I could ask, how's your relationship with Spirit? Do you trust Spirit? Do you love Spirit? But maybe more importantly, do you know that Spirit loves you? I'm not talking about a conceptual love, but I'm talking about loves you so much that Spirit is providing your every need all the time. That Spirit's unfolding you in a way that's perfect for you. In other words, there's no area in your life that's too small for Spirit to be involved in. Maybe this would be a good time if you think there's an area that would not be worthy of Spirit's presence. Maybe this could be a good time to open up that area and say, I'll allow you in here also. I want to be with you and you with me. I want to walk through this life together, hand in hand. And if all that my life is about is us having this relationship that is intimate and close and loving, where we're in communion, where we're committed to each other, not out of obligation, but out of our heartfelt love and compassion for each other. That we're walking together hand in hand in love. With a cup full and overflowing, and allowing that overflow to go to anyone and everyone who's around. And that we would have the love that says always to ourselves and every other brother and sister on this planet, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And maybe I would add to that, and please keep holding in that loving until they come into the awareness of who they are, who we are, and what we're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. It's at this time that we do our donation of love and light. We go to that place within us, our heart, our soul, where there is the cessation of againstness. And taking a deep breath, placing our hands on our heart, allow that light and love to expand, to fill us and go beyond us. And let it be shared with whoever can benefit. And so it is. And we'll finish with Christina.
So I'd like to play I've Got Peace Like a River, which fits pretty nicely into Dan's beginning of his talk about peace. And if you don't have the music with you or you don't remember it, the words are easy. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. And I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got love like a river. I've got love like a river. I've got love like a river in my soul. I've got love like a river. I've got love like a river. I've got love like a river in my soul. I've got joy like a river fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul.